Please,
Deputy. Indian medical year, he think go well tourists Octoron na Heron, Hig Sasana and Shocking Shaw, Topok Talk, August Starwell, August Tom Majalig on Broadwell, we on Octoron, August na Birchman Ra, Abis and Offic Shin Ribishaw, Taoiseach this week's state visit, which has taken 93 years to agree. I think we're all acknowledging was made possible because of the peace process and the Good Friday Agreement. And we also know that this is part of a journey, that much more needs to be done on the ground in the north and between both parts of the island, particularly on the issue of rights. But there are great possibilities, Taoiseach. There is great potential in all of this, and that needs a focus and a commitment by everyone. All identities across this island need to be given, whether Irish or British or any other, respect on the basis of equality. And I would like to say that the participation of Martin McGuinness is another sign of positive commitment by Irish Republicans to engagement with our unionist neighbours. He represents all the people in the north, and to a new relationship with Britain based on equality and mutual respect. But this is all very much work in progress, and the state visit, in my opinion, should be an incentive for us to look beyond this week, to build the peace and to continue this journey to finish off unfinished business. So, Taoiseach, would you agree that the occasion of this week's state visit, which is wonderful in itself, should also focus minds on the need for political leaders to resolve all the outstanding issues in the peace process?
Taoiseach.
Yes, I do, and I don't underestimate the importance of the significance symbolically or practically of the visit of the first state visit by an Irish president to Britain since the foundation of the state. I believe that President Higgins will fulfil his duties admirably and will set out in his own unique fashion the range of connection historically, academically, educationally, socially and culturally of our people between our two islands. But it does go back to the point that you raise about whether the peace process from here. And I'm reminded of the words of former President Clinton in Derry when he said, "You have to finish the job." The five parties in Northern Ireland who were the party to the Haas talks have got to get to grips with a situation where young people in Northern Ireland find that the political process is a blockage to the future, that it is tied to the past in a way that it will not let go. Now, we all understand that it's not right and proper to forget what happened in the past, but there's a way of dealing with it. So I expect the President, in his comments and his engagement with the Irish diaspora over the next few days, will set out in his own unique way another platform by which this engagement can take place. I was going to say to you that it was in July 1593, Ganyaki Grania ni Walla, Haul go London a Canchle, Eilish a Hain, Eilish Banvi a Hain, Agus ni Imerla no Ingoilgividar Canchach a Lajan. So a second formidable personality from the west of Ireland was the first to make the connection in Buckingham Palace, followed by a third formidable personality in former President McAleese. I think this is an occasion for everybody to reflect on where we can go from here. And perhaps it's a pity that Deputy First Minister didn't visit Dublin Castle when the Queen was here just a couple of years ago. I don't want to sound a discordant note, but the importance of it then was as important as the situation now. But in any event, I hope that the occasion in Britain is an outstanding event for the Irish diaspora, for Irish people, for the connections between our two peoples and our two governments and so on. And I noted Deputy First Minister McGuinness's comments about being invited to the Queen's house, some house.
Deputy GerryAdams.
Well, now you're yarn between Mary Robinson Foster, Rinchi Ubber Topak Tuk, Lurabishi Mar Octoron August Nervito accounts for Grania Whale, Bimea Gorkar and Ira Aragus Nor bhí tú cant faoi. Muil ní mé ag magur mé come leisciil. But anyway, tá sagam. So, you see, what we need to do is to celebrate peace on the streets, as well as in the big houses and in the palaces. It needs to be felt in loyalist hinterlands and Republican communities. It needs to be felt along the border corridor. And this is a journey. And I think what we have quite uniquely, you see, is there's an all-island dimension to this with Peter Robinson Martin and Octor and yourself being there. And that's essentially important, because a lot of the times when commentators in this state talk about the nation, they mean 26 counties. When they talk about nationally, they mean 26 counties. When they talk about Ireland, they mean 26 counties. And we need to be thinking in an all-island way. And when I was trying to frame this question, I was trying to do it in a way which looked at the possibilities that a government here could avail of. Forget about the British. What can the government here do to seize and to build on these opportunities? And I think there are a whole series of initiatives that could have a real impact in communities in the north and along the border corridor. And I'm 100% sure that the President and Sabina and all of our other representatives will do us proud in terms of this week. But beyond this week, just let's look at the potential, let's look at the possibilities, and let's build upon those. So, Taoiseach, would you agree that the real and lasting significance of this state visit, and let's remind ourselves again that it took 93 years to put together. It didn't take Martin McGuinness 93 years. It took this state and the British government 93 years to put it together. That the significance in a lasting way will only be realised if we continue to build the peace and continue to transform and to complete the journey that we're all on.
Yeah, I agree that it's a journey for everybody, Deputy Adams. And I also agree that this is an opportunity to take another step forward here. Now, it might be a very good idea if everybody could get together and say, well, Dr. Haas made genuine attempts to move this process forward. Can we not come to agreements on a range of issues about the past parades and the flags and move it forward? But it's also, and I said this to you before, when I met with the people from Ballymurphy, and you tap the reservoir of raw emotion that's there because the matter was never concluded, or you talk to the survivors of the Kingsmill massacre, it's the same emotion of people from the island of Ireland who feel that the issue has never been satisfactorily concluded in the sense of finding out, or indeed, as I said to yourself on many occasions, the question of the families of the disappeared who still haven't brought closure to that issue for them. I would think that everybody could take from the visit of President Higgins to Britain an opportunity to reflect again on what it is that we can do looking forward here for the young people of the country, north and south, who would see the excitement of being able to conclude issues of the past and look forward to the adventure of the future. And politicians have that responsibility. That's what they were elected to do. And insofar as the government here is concerned, we will work tooth and nail to bring about that sort of understanding. But you can't forget about the British here either, Deputy Adams. We have a very close, unprecedented relations economically and business-wise in so many other ways. And clearly the Good Friday Agreement speaks for itself. We need to move to have that concluded fully and implemented fully, and Western Park, and the other issues that affect people every day of their lives in fragile communities on either side here. So obviously I do hope that out of this comes an opportunity to move it forward. But you can't blame the government of the Republic for everything here. Can't. No. Well, okay. But I mean, this is a responsibility that is shared between governments and between peoples. And again, I go back to what President Clinton said in Derry. He said, I came here 20 years ago. I'm back again. Finished the job. And the job can only be finished by the politicians, the elected leaders of the people right across that spectrum. And this requires understanding, and it requires tolerance, and it requires compromise, and it requires a capacity to say, I mightn't have got everything I looked for here, but let's move it on. So I hope that the President's visit to the House of the Queen today and over the next few days, with his engagement with the Irish diaspora, will bring about a new understanding of just what we can achieve together.
Now for the technical group, Deputy Donnelly.
Thank you, Laskin Corla.